Hey guys, how's it going? Togoe Pass here. Today we're going to be trying out a new style video. In this new style video I have some riding footage, as you see, so here we are going along, and this is me about to do one of my target climbs. So this climb has appeared in a couple of our videos so far. This is the Togoe Pass. It's one of the hottest contested Strava routes here in the eastern Nagoya region in Japan, and it's about a bit under 8 minutes as an all-out climb, and right now I'm at about 8 minutes and 8 seconds as my best time, and I'm in about 20th place. And for that I'm averaging about over 300 watts for the whole thing, so it's a pretty tough route. We haven't quite started the segment yet, and so here we've got all of my power data overlaid, so I'm using my new power meters, my new Favero Asioma power meters, and I've got my heart rate data, my cadence data, and we've got our current elevation as well. So lots of good information out here. Right now the segment is about to start, so right at this pull is pretty much where the segment starts. You can hear I just started my cycling computer. I'm already holding about 500 watts for the start. This climb kind of like increases in steepness as you go up, so gotta take advantage of the first part and try and hold the top speed. So right now I'm holding about 40 kilometers per hour, but we're still only at about 1% gradient. And you can see my heart rate is already jacked. We're at about 185, which is pretty much my threshold. And looking at my cadence, you'll see that I'm at about 88. I'm trying to improve that to hold an average of about 90 and try and get over 90 if I can. I kind of have a bad habit of pedal mashing and pushing a heavy gear, which is great for short efforts, but for a long climb, you'll burn out pretty quickly, as you'll see, which kind of happens to me. So right now my goal for years, I've lived here for about 3.5 years, and I've never been able to get under 8 minutes. My best has been 8 minutes and 8 seconds. I've done that time twice, and today I'm on a really fast bike. I've been improving with my training the last few weeks, and I'm kind of hoping that I'll get there today, but you'll see at the end of the video. I don't quite get it, but pretty good improvement over my efforts for the last few weeks. It's my fastest time to date this year since I've started training again, so the improvements are coming, and hopefully we'll see 8 minutes soon. We're still at a pretty low gradient right now, about 1%, 2%. Still holding about 400 watts, so still strong right now. Heart rate hasn't moved much, 185, cadence about 87, 88, so no real changes there. And the beginning of this climb, we're still kind of in a residential area. There's still a couple houses, but that changes pretty quickly once we enter into the deeper side of the mountain. So you saw the gradient sort of starting to pick up a little bit. We've got 2, 3%. And here we go, we're about to enter into the mountain. This is where it suddenly gets really steep. So 3, 4, 5%. A bit slow to recognize on the data on the overlay here, but you can see I'm standing up, I have to get up. This is a quick little steep segment. Pretty sure this is over 5% though. And you notice there's quite a few cars passing along this segment. It's usually not too bad, but there are some times where it's a little bit busy with traffic, but not too bad. Again, this is saying 1, 2%, but I'm pretty sure this elevation profile seems a little bit off. There we go, we're back up to 4, 5%, 6%. The data might not be 100% accurate. I tried overlaying this as close as I could, but there might be a second or two delay. So I filmed this in the middle-ish end of November, and you can see we're starting to get some nice colors in the trees here. We're pretty slow with our fall, so back home in Michigan, you guys have already had fall colors like over a month ago or 2 months ago, but we're pretty slow with that. Some other cyclists out on the course, but in the pain cave right now, so So still holding a steady 350-ish watts. Definitely gone down from my beginning part where I was holding about 400, 500 watts, so. But still holding my target wattage. My goal right now is to get my FTP to about 350 watts. Not quite there yet. Some other cyclists on the course. With this kind of training, it's a bit, I guess, easier to just focus on heart rate. If you're maintaining your solid threshold heart rate, you know you're pretty much giving everything that you can. So just changed gears here, power dropped for a second. This part gets really steep, or pretty steep compared to before. Can't say really steep, it's not really a super steep climb, but steeper than before. We just hit 6-7%. Still over 350 watts. Heart rate dropped a little bit, 182. And about this point, there's a secret mountain bike trail that pops off to the left, and that gets really steep. So hopefully one day I'll take you guys out on that trail. I just fixed up my mountain bike, so we'll be doing some more mountain bike rides soon. So right here, right before these signs start, on the left, there's an entrance to a secret mountain bike trail. It's not really a mountain bike trail, it's more like a dirt climb kind of thing, but it's really steep and really fun, and it leads to some other trails. We'll go explore that one day as we enter the base season, mountain bike winter season. And usually on this climb, I can hold so I've got the sort of live segment tracker on my Garmin, so I can see how I'm performing against my target. And usually up until this hill, I'm holding the pace for the 8 minutes on the climb. So up until this point, I'm hitting all the metrics I need to hit, but it just sort of gets a little bit steep and I burn myself out. You can see I'm not quite holding 350 watts anymore, dropping a little bit down to 330s. And yeah, this is where I get killed. This is my weakness. But if we look at the total graph on the left side, you see we're already about 75%. So 75% of the way, I'm holding my pace, my 8-minute pace. I just need to push past this point. And getting even steeper. Here we go, 7-8%. The last part of this is just a killer. Just completely destroyed right now. I'm pretty good for a 5-minute effort, and so the last 2-3 minutes on this climb just really get to me. Look at those beautiful colors though. The yellow, the red, the green, the orange. We've got some beautiful colors here in the fall in Japan. So trying to stand up, get out of the pedals, get some power back in. Get on top of the pedals before we go into the final stretch. And after this curve, we've got a sort of kind of deceivingly false flat kind of climb section up until the sign where the course finishes. So here we go. It eases up a little bit. We're down to 3%. Still holding 350 watts. And almost there, almost to the finish. Heart rate still 183. Been in that range the whole climb, so that's pretty solid. Cadence is still down, 82. That's a little bit disappointing. Need to push that cadence over to 90 for the whole thing. Kicks up a little bit again, 6%, 5%. There's the finish sign. We started going downhill, so I guess I gave up a little bit early. Didn't quite get to my goal, but a pretty solid effort. One of my best times to date, so can't complain. So looking at my data, I finished with an 8 minutes and 28 seconds. That's 20 seconds below my top time, but can't complain. That's definitely an improvement over my times over the last few weeks. So I started at about 8:55. I've dropped 20 seconds. Looking at my data in my analysis tools in my ride on Strava, so you can go check that out if you want. You can see my heart rate is pretty much consistent the whole time, holding out at an average of about 184. So like I mentioned, that's pretty much my max threshold. That's my average heart rate right now for when I'm entering races and stuff. My cadence is pretty consistent as well, average of 82, so that's definitely an area for improvement. Gonna try and get that up to as close to 90 as I can. The temperature is pretty funny. We can see that dropping consistently as we go up the climb, so starting at about 15 and drops down to about 11 near the end. And same thing with the speed. We can see the speed is dropping, so I started out pretty fast. Of course, the mountain gets steeper near the top part, so we can try and work on improving that, the speed at the end of the course. And the most important detail, the meat, the power, we can see there's a drop there as well, so definitely want to focus on making this more consistent. We can see the beginning, I start with some pretty good power. I start with about 500 watts, slowly drop down to 400 watts, then I get down to 350 watts. So for the segment, my average wattage was 361 watts, so that's pretty good. That's over my 350 wattage threshold that I'm going for, but there's no way I can hold this for a whole hour, let alone 20 minutes, so we're still gonna need to improve that. So since this is only 8 minutes, I think I'm gonna try and make my goal to hold 400 watts for this whole thing. That's gonna be one of my training program moving forward, improving my FTP, improving my 5-10 minute power, and so on. So we've got our goals to move forward. Another thing, this is kind of another excuse, this was my first ever time on this bike. My position wasn't 100% dialed yet. I wasn't fully used to the new bike yet. So despite having this great bike to use, there's definitely some improvements I can make with this, getting used to the bike more and just gradually working on these power workouts. I'm planning to use some of the power building workouts on Zwift. So I've mentioned on this channel that I'll be doing Zwift now, so we'll be working on those goals together. If you have any suggestions, leave them down below in the comments. If you like this kind of video, you thought it was interesting, you want to see more videos like this of ride analysis, race analysis, power analysis, be glad to make them. They're pretty interesting for me as well. So anyway, that's it for this time. We'll see you in the next video. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time on Togoe Cruise.